I'm Riza Diaz. This is One News Now. Senators are seeking to revoke an executive order which reduces tariffs on pork imports and increases the cap on imported meat. Let's talk more about this. Mean Los Baños is joining us live from Rizal. Mean, good afternoon. When are lawmakers planning to file the joint resolution?
Anytime, Riza, good afternoon to you. Several senators are actually planning to file a joint resolution to revoke Executive Order 128 of President Duterte, which lowers the tariff for pork products from 30% to 5%. Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon explained that an executive order can be revoked through a joint resolution. Drilon said that Customs Modernization and Tariff Act, which was the basis of EO 128, allows the President to increase, reduce, or remove existing rates of import duty while Congress is not in session. However, he said that the power delegated to the President can also be terminated by Congress. This is why Drilon, together with Senators Cynthia Villar and Kiko Pangilinan, will file a joint resolution to repeal the EO. Drilon and Senator Ping Lacson earlier questioned the timing of increasing the minimum access volume, or MAV, from 54,000 metric tons to 350,000 metric tons, which was done on the last day of Congress session. Senator Amy Marcos, who supports the filing of a joint resolution, said that she has always been against the MAT importation of pork since this would result in losses in tariff collections of around 14 billion pesos and affecting 2.5 million hog raisers. Drilon said that the President's order will kill the local hog industry and not the African swine fever. He added that the country's hog raisers suffered a double blow in the last 2 weeks, and it is the duty of Congress to stand up for them. Other senators like Crespo and Ralph Recto have expressed support for the joint preso. Meanwhile, Lisa Pala spokesperson Harry Roque said that the President listens to the senators, especially if they are united on their call. However, Senator Ping Lacson said that he hopes the President will not only take the merit of the Senate inquiry, but will also look into the plight of the local hog raisers who are affected by ASF and cheap tariff imports. Lisa?
Thank you for that report. That was Mean Los Baños reporting live from Rizal. The Agriculture Department defends anew the executive order reducing tariff rates on imported pork. In an interview with Business World, Assistant Secretary Noel Reyes said the agency intends to augment the 3 million hog deficit in the Philippines. Reyes explained that importers will provide that local producers cannot deliver while the industry reels from the impact of the African swine fever. Critics have pointed out that the move will result in billions of government revenue loss and will only work in favor of big pork importers.
We agree that we will lose some, but not that much, not that magnitude, okay? Because not all imports are the price, price cuts or something, premium cuts. So again, we anticipate, of course, lower tariff collections about from 30 to about 5%, so about 25% loss in tariff. But again, what we're saying is this will be translated into lower prices of pork for the consumers.
Now, a group of business organizations, meanwhile, have joined the calls for China to withdraw their vessels from the Julian Felipe Reef. In a statement, the groups, including the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Makati Business Club, echoed earlier remarks that the Julian Felipe Reef is by law an undisputed Philippine territory. They called on the Chinese side not to become an imperial power now that the country is economically and militarily strong. The group said that Chinese authorities should respect the sovereignty of the Philippines and its neighboring countries. Now, a health expert claims that the patient-to-bed mismatch is causing the difficulty in securing hospital beds. In an interview with Sa Totoo Lang, NTF Special Advisor Dr. Ted Herbosa said there is a discrepancy between the available beds and the patients who need to be confined. He added that bolstering in one hospital command quarantine facilities and medical transportation may be the way to prevent the mismatch.
Isa lang dapat maintindihan siguro ng ating mamamayan, pag pumunta ka kasi sa hospital, sa ER, sometimes may tinatawag na mismatch, no? Marami silang bakanting bed pero pang moderate. Pero kung ikaw ay critical at walang ICU bed, yun yung magmumukhang maghihintay or maililipat ka sa ibang hospital. So one hospital command kasi kung saan ang available dun sa tamang bed para sa iyo, doon ka nila ilalagay.
Minimizing interactions of people and observance of proper health protocols are still essential in suppressing the rise in COVID-19 cases. That's according to Health Undersecretary Leopoldo Vega in an interview with The Big Story. He maintained that continuous suppression of the virus through application of health standards and COVID-19 testing has in fact decreased its R0. He added that the spike in deaths may be mainly due to cases involving elderly people.
Definitely, comparing it with last year, there is a bit of an uptick, but it means only that the uptick could only be that this could be possibly be involving a lot of elderly people who have been contacting the virus. I don't think it is really that significant in terms of the mortality, since we have, I know the healthcare workers have already experienced and they already know how to treat the COVID pandemic in terms of critical and severe patients.
More trials and studies are being carried out across the globe in an effort to fully understand the ins and outs of COVID-19 vaccines. Bloomberg's Todd Gillespie walks us through what experts know so far in this video.
How long does a vaccine last, and is it different for different providers? Which vaccines are permitted for people aged 16 and below? When is the pandemic over? You tell me. What's the real agenda? The real agenda is to get you safe and vaccinated. This is Todd Gillespie. I'm a healthcare reporter at Bloomberg News. Earlier, I asked loads of you on Instagram to send in your questions about the coronavirus vaccines, and we got hundreds of questions, so thank you so much for sending all of them in. And now I'm going to answer them, so listen up. Can you still spread COVID after being vaccinated? And the answer to that is yes, possibly. It'll be much less likely, and no vaccine is 100% effective. But don't go around thinking that you're invincible straight away. Most scientists are still working out how transmission works, even among people who have been vaccinated already. Which is the best vaccine to take? Now, the short answer to that is that there isn't one. All of these vaccines approved in major countries have been vetted by top scientists and health experts, so don't be a vaccine snob. One thing also to remember is that clinical trial efficacies aren't always comparable between vaccines, so time will still tell how well these vaccines perform in the real world. Another thing you should bear in mind is that the CDC in the US says that the flu jab, one of the most common types of vaccines that's delivered, is normally only between 40 to 60% effective. So remember that when you hear stats between 60, 70, 80, 90% efficacy, all of these vaccines are really effective already. So don't let those numbers put you off getting one. Are there long-term side effects? So the short answer to this is you'll probably feel a little bit nauseous and maybe a little bit tired for a few days after getting vaccinated. And that's really normal. That happens with a lot of vaccines, happens with a lot of medication. But the WHO, the World Health Organization, says that these symptoms should really only probably last a few days. There have been some concerns, especially in Europe, about the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine and potential link to blood clots. But these signs are still going under rigorous testing and evaluation.
Our conclusion is that these clotting disorders are very rare side effects of the vaccine.
And if we then put that into the context of the overall benefits of the vaccine, then the benefits outweigh the risks.
Will the vaccines change my DNA? The answer to that is absolutely not. No coronavirus vaccine exists that can get inside your nucleus and change the really complex coding that exists there, so there's no need to worry about that. When will teenagers and children get the vaccine? And the answer to that is it could be soon, but it really depends on which country you live in and which supplies are available. Some of the major drug makers are already testing this on young teenagers and children. Some preliminary studies from Pfizer have already said that it's 100% effective in young teenagers, and AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson and Moderna are already also testing their vaccine on younger populations. Will the vaccines be enough to bring us back to normal? Most people are betting so, but remember, vaccines will only help us get back to normal if everyone takes them. So make sure to share this video with your friends and family, and maybe it will answer some of their concerns if they're reticent about taking the vaccine. So I hope I answered some of your questions about the COVID vaccines. If you'd like to stay up to date on all of the latest virus news, follow us on QuickTake and Bloomberg.
Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.